Love Shack is a love shack. I'm Ben Palacios, and you're listening to Steamy Stories, written by J.C. CALCIANO. This is Ski Weekend. Aiden just finished pledging Alpha Beta Alpha fraternity, and was now a fully fledged brother. He was easily the best-looking guy in the house. His height and wide shoulders could make even the cheapest of clothes look like a hip fashion statement. His strong, handsome, scruffy face and stylish dark hair made him look more like a stud than the actual geek he was. He hadn't yet told anyone he was bisexual. It was a non-issue to him, and he figured that when the time was right, he'd share that piece of information with his housemates. Tonight, the fraternity was hosting a beer blast, and it promised to be awesome. Kegs were brought in, and last year's fraternity brothers were invited to attend. Aiden was psyched to get to know better the guys he'd be living so closely with, as well as some of the recent graduates. One of the first guests to arrive was an alumnus named Karl. He was last year's star athlete at the university. He excelled in basically every sport he played. Karl had short blonde hair and sparkling green eyes. His chiseled features and large muscular frame made him appear considerably older than the freshman pledges. Karl knew he was hot, and he owned it as he strutted around his old stomping grounds. As he entered the great room, Karl made a beeline for Aiden. "Looks like you're going to be my replacement around here. You're clearly the best-looking guy on campus. I assume you've already realized that your purpose here in the house is to be chick bait for the other brothers, right? Watch out, Alpha Beta Alpha, we got us a new babe magnet." Aiden chuckled modestly. He knew Karl was right about his looks, although he wouldn't have admitted it. He saw Karl's statement as a great time to test the waters about revealing to his brothers he was bi. "It's true," he stated modestly. "The ladies do love me. And some of the guys, too. I figure, why limit yourself, right?" Karl laughed as he continued to set up for the party. "What are you drinking? How about a gin and tonic? Hold the tonic." Karl winked. Aiden smiled and nodded yes to the cocktail. The two men were finishing their drinks and enjoying the party when a displeased voice rose above the music. It was fraternity president Daryl. He was griping about a text he'd just received. "Damn it! I rented this incredible ski chalet for the whole weekend, and now my folks are coming to visit. I can't go." Karl didn't miss a beat and approached Daryl. "Sorry to hear your plans got messed up. I'll totally take the place for the weekend and cover the cost if you like." Daryl was grateful for a way out of the rental. "Thanks, dude. That's a huge relief. I owe you." "Happy to do it. I love skiing." Without missing a beat, Karl turned to Aiden. "Do you ski? I'm an instructor if you want to learn. I'll teach you. Free lessons." Even though Aiden had just met Karl, he believed him to be a good guy. "What's the harm? I've always wanted to learn how to ski. Sure, I'm in. Let's do it." The weekend arrived, and it was time to head out to the mountains. Karl pulled up to the fraternity house in his charcoal-colored Jeep Wrangler. Aiden was packed and ready to go. He tossed his bags in the back seat and gave Karl a quick hello before asking, "What about skis? I've wanted to ask you about that." "I don't have any," Karl chuckled. "You can rent them at the mountain, don't sweat it. If you're all set, let's do this." 3 hours later, they pulled up to their destination, a small, quaint, Swiss-style chalet. Snow blanketed the roof and surrounding pine trees. It was picturesque and idyllic. Upon entering, they discovered an inviting fire already roaring. Karl dropped his bags by the door and beelined toward the full-size bar adjacent to the sweeping leather couch. "Get you a scotch?" Karl inquired. "Hell yeah," Aiden was quick to reply. "This is awesome." Aiden decided to unpack before relaxing. "I'm gonna find my room and put my things away. I'll be back in a minute." Karl was in no rush to do anything but cozy up by the fire and enjoy a well-deserved cocktail. Aiden found his room. It was quaint and cozy. Since it was only a weekend, he'd packed lightly. A pair of jeans, some boxers, socks, several t-shirts, and his favorite dorky Christmas sweater. 10 minutes later, Aiden joined Karl back in the living room in front of the roaring fire. "Got my scotch?" he asked as he turned the corner toward the couch. "Right here." Karl smiled as he held up a glass with one ice cube and a healthy pour of Glenlivet. Aiden stopped in his tracks. He paused before carefully proceeding with his next question. Karl, where are your clothes?" Karl leaned back on the leather couch, now fully reclined on the large sheepskin throw, holding his cocktail, fully disrobed. "It's hot in here, and it's only us. Plus, this blanket was too soft to pass up. I figured why not just make myself as comfy as possible, right?" Okay, I guess," Aiden stuttered. As surprised as Aiden was, there was no denying that Karl looked ridiculously sexy. He had a smooth, toned body. His rugged, frat boy face made him look like the perfect cover model of a beefcake magazine. "Dude, I'll totally get dressed if it makes you uncomfortable. I didn't think it was a thing. We're all fraternity brothers, right? You see guys in the shower all the time." He's right. We're just two dudes. Why the big deal? Aiden thought, as he grabbed the scotch and joined him on the couch. There was no denying that he was in heaven. The fire, the scotch, and the weekend away with a cool fraternity brother. Perfect. Karl tapped his phone, and the bluesy guitar music of B.B. King played through the Bluetooth speakers. Aiden couldn't believe how unbelievably comfortable Karl looked naked. He had to admit it. He was desperate to slip off his boots, skinny jeans, and polo shirt. Why did he feel so awkward when he first saw Karl? This must be just what fraternity life is like. Aiden laughed at his own silliness as he pulled off his own heavy shirt. Next, the buttons of his jeans and socks. Soon the boxers were tossed by the fireside. Aiden reclined on the oversized, cool leather couch next to Karl. This feels nice, he thought, and the scotch makes it, perfect. Karl was happy to see him getting comfy. As the two men settled into the night, the bottle of scotch slowly disappeared. The conversation got friendlier, and any awkwardness completely slipped away. Aiden decided that now was a perfect time to mention his sexuality to Karl. He cleared his throat before proceeding. "I'm not sure if you picked up on this at the party, but I thought I'd let you know that I'm bisexual." Aiden waited for a reaction, hoping he didn't just make the situation between the two naked men awkward. Karl giggled politely. "Thank you for sharing that. Since you brought it up, you may want to know I'm more into women." Aiden smiled. "I wasn't coming on to you just now. I just wanted to be honest with you." Karl leaned forward, a breath's distance from Aiden's face, and whispered, "That's a shame. I was hoping you were coming on to me." Aiden couldn't hide his confusion. "But I I thought you said you were straight." "No, I said I'm more into women. I never said that I didn't like men as well, or that I wasn't into you." Karl responded confidently as he leaned even closer to Aiden. His muscular, naked body was now so seductively close that Aiden could feel the warmth emanating from it. Aiden leaned forward to meet Karl's mouth. This man is too delicious to not sample. Besides, he's clearly ready to play. The two fraternity brothers kissed and locked bodies in a fierce embrace as the fire continued to roar just a few feet away. The weekend continued similarly. Karl never unpacked his luggage, nor did they ever go skiing. A week later, during a group dinner at the fraternity, Aiden could hear one of the brothers groaning about a test being sprung on him in class. He was already doing poorly, and he was upset that he had to cancel his plans to go skiing that weekend. It was too late to get a refund on the cabin he rented. Aiden quickly offered to take the chateau rental off his hands. He was confident that Karl would be happy to provide another ski lesson. and the glint in Karl's eye suggested he wouldn't need to pack a bag for the trip. Nor would they ever make it to the slopes. Enjoy JC's writing? Then check out his new book, Revenge of the Brobot. Join the Steam Room Stories bros as one of them finds love with an amorous android while on the run from a merciless marine. Revenge of the Brobot is now available on Amazon in softcover, hardcover, and Audible. Steamy Stories is written by JC CALCIANO and narrated by yours truly, Ben Palacios. You can find Steamy Stories on Instagram and Twitter @SteamyPodcast. Come back next week for another steamy story. Later, bro.